With Battlefield 5's content lifecycle coming to a close, there's been quite a lot of rumours flying around recently surrounding Battlefield's future, and the direction EA and DICE intend to take it over the next couple of years. One of the big things that's been popping up on forums, social media posts, and of course right here on YouTube, is the idea of a Battlefield 3 Remaster being in the works, which has quite a lot of people intrigued. Rumours and speculation should be taken with a pinch of salt at the end of the day, as it's probably not a fantastic idea to get excited about something that might not ever exist. But as a concept, a Battlefield 3 Remastered edition is totally in the realms of imagination, being something that does seem plausible, and would probably be a pretty good thing right now, for several different reasons. Not just for the Battlefield community, but for EA and DICE too. So even if it never actually materialises into anything in the end, here's 5 reasons why a Battlefield 3 Remaster could, or at least could have, been a perfect thing to release in that long dreary gap between Battlefield 5 and the next big title in the franchise, likely to come out at the end of 2021. So one of the top reasons why a Battlefield 3 Remaster could be a pretty good idea is obviously down to the potentially huge graphical leap, making an otherwise dated looking game look fantastic, with better textures, particle effects and detail. Some of my eagle-eyed viewers out there will probably already notice that the background gameplay I've been using in this video is showing Battlefield 4, even though it's a video centered around the game that came out before it. Why, you might ask? Well, to put it bluntly, by these days' standards, Battlefield 3 looks like a jittery, blurry mess on console. Not exactly a game that's easy on the eye. It's 9 years old, and although it still doesn't look too bad on PC, which had a massive graphical advantage back in 2011, Battlefield 3 came out on PS3 and Xbox 360, which, let's be honest, didn't exactly have the power to run the game how it was designed to be run. The next game in the series, Battlefield 4, might look a bit rough around the edges in present day, but that game still launched on PS4 and Xbox One, on stronger hardware which allowed the game to perform better than the last. Because a lot of the supposed rumours point towards a Battlefield 3 Remaster being made for the PS5 and Xbox Series X, this means that the game would have essentially skipped over an entire generation, thus be able to take advantage of much more impressive hardware similar to PCs, allowing it to run exactly how it's designed to, being able to handle higher frame rates and better graphics. So although the visual leap might not exactly be massive for PC players, it could potentially be a huge difference for the thousands of console players out there in the community. A lot of long-time Battlefield veterans will probably remember Battlefield 3 quite well, and get all nostalgic about everything it had to offer. Some people still play it nowadays, but over the course of 9 years or so, the Battlefield franchise has grown a lot, and attracted a bunch of new fans. Battlefield 4 performed really well, being a launch title for the current gen, soon to be last gen consoles, and with it being a launch title with limited competition at the time for anyone who just bought a PS4 or Xbox One, it would have been the first time a lot of people joined the community and become Battlefield fans. Battlefield 4 came out in the same year as Call of Duty Ghosts, which didn't exactly impress a big portion of the COD community at the time, and so a lot of the COD guys would have jumped over to try out Battlefield instead that year, which followed a strong marketing campaign and was generally pretty hyped up, especially compared to COD Ghosts, which everyone took the piss out of for having a dog and fish AI. Let's just say that 2013 wasn't exactly one of Call of Duty's best years. So how does this all link in with Battlefield 3 Remastered? Well, a lot of people who might not have played Battlefield 3, or any Battlefield game for that matter, will probably have been attracted to Battlefield 4 that year, with the franchise getting a bunch of new fans that will continue to grow over the years to follow. Battlefield Hardline came out after, which wasn't really a big hit, but still would have added to the community, and then of course Battlefield 1 came out, which once again blew Call of Duty out of the water with its marketing and trailers. For added context, that was the year that Infinite Warfare came out, which, just like COD Ghosts, got a very negative reception amongst the COD community. A huge amount of these new fans accumulating over the years probably won't have played Battlefield 3, so a remastered version of it, to a lot of Battlefield fans, would essentially be like releasing a brand new game, which would probably sell quite well, especially in the console community. Now there's quite a lot of people that would argue against a Battlefield 3 remaster, saying it would most likely conflict with DICE's next big title, aka Battlefield 6, or whatever the hell it's going to be called. If that game also happens to be set in modern day setting, which it most likely will. Although I can see the logic behind this argument, with there being a possibility that it could dampen the effect of the next game's reveal, there's a lot of evidence around looking at other game franchises that this might not necessarily be the case. The most obvious example being the COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 remasters, which both recently came out surrounding Infinity Ward's reboot of the same game, Modern Warfare. Releasing all of these remasters around the same time as the reboot might have sounded like a crazy idea on paper, all being set in the same time periods with the same characters. But if anything, these remasters will have actually complemented the sales of Modern Warfare, by keeping the franchise in the spotlight and making it relevant. Switching back over to Battlefield now, it's safe to say that since the launch of Battlefield 5, things have very quickly gone tits up for the franchise's image, with it being surrounded by a lot of negativity for loads of different reasons. A lot of fans didn't buy Battlefield 5 or stopped playing it early on, and the series as a whole has been put in a bit of an awkward state of turmoil. Bring out a Battlefield 3 remaster though, and this would at least help to wash away some of that negative perception, reminding fans of better days while driving more hype for the next title's announcement and release. If Battlefield 5 is the last thing people relate to the series, then this could negatively impact sales for the next big title. But by throwing Battlefield 3 Remastered into the mix, this could act as a nice taster to get fans ready for a brand new game in a modern setting, kinda like an appetizer before the main course. This nicely leads me over to the next reason. A Battlefield 3 Remaster wouldn't only help to put the franchise in a more positive light leading up to the next big game, but it'd also help to keep the community engaged with the Battlefield series. Battlefield 5's popularity has pretty much dropped off a cliff nowadays, and now only really attracts a limited audience. Some people have gone back to playing the older games, but a lot of others have since hopped over to other franchises, and have simply left Battlefield behind them for the time being. This isn't a good thing for EA or DICE, as if you're not holding your community's interest, which, let's be honest, they've been struggling to do throughout the whole of Battlefield 5's life cycle, then that community is going to drift away and essentially disband to become much smaller than it once was. Battlefield 5's not getting any more content, and the fanbase has been shrinking more and more as time's ticked on. With there now potentially being a pretty long wait for the next title, likely to release in late 2021, the fanbase isn't exactly going to get any bigger, especially if the last game in the series left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. Bring out a Battlefield 3 Remaster however, and this would at least keep some interest there for the time being, by tiding the community over and most likely attracting a lot of those lost members that didn't like the last game back, who just want to get their Battlefield fix. And if it was to come out at the end of the year with the next gen consoles, it'd give all the Battlefield fans something to play on said next gen consoles, helping to fill in a bit of a gap. And the last reason of the video, the foundations for a great game have already been laid down. DICE won't need to redesign or rebalance the game's weapons or mechanics, which normally takes a lot of time to plan out, and so they wouldn't be upsetting anyone or further disturbing the Battlefield image. Just like any remaster, you're essentially revamping an already existing game, so most of the hard work has already been done in the past. And the fact is, although it might seem a bit old nowadays, Battlefield 3 was a great game, and still is. It pushed the series into a new era at the time, running on a newer, improved version of the Frostbite engine in the form of Frostbite 2, which looked noticeably much better than the games before it. Plus it also spawned some classic fan favourite maps that a lot of Battlefield veterans are very familiar of, from Grand Bazaar to Damavan Peak, where you get to base jump off a cliff to reach a new area of the map. Technically, a few of them have already been sort of remastered and reimagined before, like the original Operation Metro, but I'm pretty sure fans won't mind returning to them one last time. The fact that it had to compete quite a lot of big games in the year it came out, like Skyrim, Crysis 2 and Modern Warfare 3, but still performed well regarding sales, being EA's fastest selling game at the time whilst receiving loads of great reviews and praise, is a pretty clear indicator of the game's success, which helped to carry the franchise forward with large-scale sandbox combat packed with tons of weapons, vehicles and maps, forming Battlefield as we know it today. I know for a fact that a lot of fans would be eager to play a remastered version of Battlefield 3, giving them something new to rank up in with its progression systems, and the fact that so many games are being remastered these days, letting people enjoy games they might have missed out on, or letting them relive the good old days from years ago, why not throw Battlefield 3 into the mix? It can't really damage the series' reputation, and it'd most likely benefit the whole community, along with the developers too. So Battlefield 3 Remastered may or may not be a thing, but there's quite a few reasons why it's not such a wild concept after all. Making a remaster would obviously eat up development time that could be used on the next big budget game of the series, but if a remaster's already in the works, planned to come out on the next gen consoles, then I'm pretty sure that a lot of fans will buy it, with many preferring to play that instead of Battlefield 5. But anyway, do you still play Battlefield 3? Would you like to see it get remastered? Let me know what you think about all this down below in the comments. Thanks for watching guys, be sure to subscribe and apply all notifications by clicking the bell to be the first to see new content coming up soon. Take it easy, and I'll be seeing you in that next episode.